Welcome back to Session 0, where I discuss world building and other RPG topics. My name is Brian, and today I want to start a new series in which I'll talk about the 5 things from each of the WotC 5e campaigns that I use in my own games. If you're interested in the 5 things I use from Lost Mine of Phandelver, please stick around. Alright, thanks for sticking around. I need to mention that this series is not a review of the 5e campaigns, but rather a collection of things from them that I like to use in Dungeon World. With that said, however, be forewarned that any discussion of a published campaign may contain spoilers. Also, here's a free tip which is true of any published campaign. These books are a great source of names for people, places, and things. Mix and match first and last names and any character traits you like from published adventures. Something else I'll do with this series is alter, mix, and combine elements in fun new ways. Sometimes I'll even combine a new thing with an element from an older video. So as this series grows, you'll be able to view all of the videos from a playlist found right here. Okay, now let's get into Lost Mine. Number 1 on my list is Cragmaw Hideout. This is a really simple little cave complex that I've used in several games. I've used it as a goblin hideout as written, but I've also used it as a bandit hideout, a werewolf den, a wizard's secret lab, and for 3 or 4 sessions, a player character refuge. Once I used this cave as the home of a ranger, but I'll talk about him in the video about Horde of the Dragon Queen. In Dungeon World, one of the moves a GM can bring to bear against the player characters is use a monster, danger, or location move. A cool location move from Cragmaw Hideout is Water Surge, as the retaining walls of these pools can be brought down to send a surge of water down the stream. You can also add a Sound and Alarm move to any guard dog type monster that might be stationed here at the kennel. Cragmaw Hideout is a simple but versatile cave that can be added into almost any game. Next on the list is the frontier town Phandalin. First, the description already gives some flavor. It's a frontier town, meaning the characters won't have access to some of the things they can find in a larger town, and definitely not what they can find in a city. The map is also great, and you can use the player map to put the various businesses wherever you need them to be. If you don't like the name Phandalin, a little image manipulation changes it to whatever you want. There are also some cool features on the map. An orchard, several farms, and this great ruined manor atop a hill. I once GM'd a campaign for a friend whose goal was to claim and rebuild her ancestral home, and this map was exactly what I needed. I used what she told me about why her family left the region and what she feared might have become of the manor to make the town really unique and specific to her campaign. I've also used this town as a stop-off point while characters were traveling across the land. The main map of Phandalin shows this road as the entry point, but if you look at the player map, it looks like a road travels from southwest to northeast, so it made a nice rest stop at which the players stayed for a few days. Phandalin has a great map with many options for making it unique. Number 3 on the list of things I use from Lost Mine of Phandelver is the Redbrand Ruffians. While the map of the Redbrand Hideout is interesting and includes one of my favorite monsters, what I like the most is the story behind the Ruffians. At the most basic, they're just a band of bullies led by someone disguising their true identity. These 2 elements combine to make a really interesting group of foes for the characters, add some mystery if the characters choose to dig into it, and can provide some fun rewards if they get rid of them. The most fun I've had with the Ruffians was in a small town led by some minor nobility. The leader of the Ruffians was a disinherited noble using magic to disguise himself and was modeled after Neville St. Clair from the Sherlock Holmes story, The Man with the Twisted Lip. It led to some great roleplay when the characters and NPCs discovered the truth. Before moving on to number 4, I want to go back and talk about the monster I like so much from the Redbrand Hideout, and that's the Nothic. With True Sight and its weird insight ability, it makes an excellent guard, and I've used it in the Cragmaw Hideout inspired Wizard's Lab, which I mentioned earlier. If you gave the Nothic a Sound and Alarm monster move, it could literally yell out something like "Invisible Invaders" in a language that no one in the party speaks. Fun stuff. Number 4 on the list is Agatha the Banshee. I really like this Banshee because she's a reminder that not every monster is something to be fought. Agatha is a monster, but she's really an NPC who happens to be a monster. In the adventure, Agatha may answer one question posed to her if you're polite and flatter her vanity, but only if you either give her something pretty, a jeweled comb in this case, to which I added the adjective elven, or pass this persuasion test. I did expand this while running Lost Mine of Phandelver so that she would answer any number of questions, but she always required a pretty elven item in exchange. When I get to number 5 on the list, I'll tell you where the party can find another pretty elven item. In my own games, I created a variation on this theme in the form of Dr. Agatha Gwyn, a brilliant alchemist who passed away, but somehow retained her intelligence and free will after she was raised as a zombie by a necromancer a century ago. She'll trade information and alchemy for fresh body parts to replace her own which rot away, and rare ingredients and equipment needed to continue her profession. You can apply this idea to nearly any monster. Tell me in the comments below which monster you turn into an NPC, and what they want in exchange for their services. Finally, coming in at number 5 is The Ruins of Thundertree. I actually didn't like The Ruins of Thundertree when I first read Lost Mine of Phandelver. It was too far away from Phandalin, had a young dragon that could easily wipe a low-level party, and I didn't feel the reward was worth the risk. I really think they just wanted to include a dragon in the starter set because, you know, dungeons and... I eventually realized that the distance was actually a good thing, because you might get an entire session traveling there and another traveling back. So I finally included it the third time I ran Lost Mine. When the party arrived, I had the dragon Venomfang out hunting, and instead of the druid right off helping them in exchange for driving Venomfang away, he only asked him to drive the members of the Cult of the Dragon away. He reasoned that Venomfang could be dealt with later and much easier without the cultists hanging around. So, long story short, the time I did run The Ruins of Thundertree, after the adventure in Lost Mine of Phandelver had wrapped up, my players decided to return to Thundertree, kill Venomfang, and rebuild the village. This gave us 10 more sessions of play and led me to include Thundertree in one form or another in pretty much every campaign for players new to me, even if I don't end up running it. Finally, when talking about Agatha, I mentioned another pretty elven item that can be found when I got to number 5 on the list. In the published adventure, there's an herbalist shop in which an heirloom gold necklace with a fine emerald pendant can be found. It's worth 200 gold, or can be returned to a specific NPC for some XP. I simply added the adjective elven to the necklace, giving the party a third option, which is to give it to Agatha in exchange for an answer to a question. That's it. Those are the 5 things from Lost Mine of Phandelver which I really like and reuse often, although rarely as written. Let me know in the comments below what you've reused from this adventure. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.